what are some of the common mistakes that you see business owners make when it comes to LinkedIn?
People, they chase the shiny objects and they fall for the hacks. So they join the engagement pods, they hire
Mm-hmm.
the agent, they hire the lead gen people. There's no quick fix. It takes time to build trust. It takes time to build relationships. It takes time for the algorithm to show your stuff to the right people, for it to get to know you. So just if it seems too good to be true, it is.
Hello, and welcome back to the Side Hustler podcast. I'm your host, Carly LeBlanc, and I'm so excited to have you on today's episode because if you're new here, you know that I am an Instagram guru. I love everything about Instagram. But one of the common questions or common themes that I get from people who just find me on Instagram is how can I show up on LinkedIn? Now, we know that each social media platform has its own algorithm, own rules, its own strategy that you have to abide by. It's not as simple as just copy and pasting all of your content onto multiple platforms because each social platform has its own algorithm. And so that's why I'm super excited for today's guest, who is my new friend, Molly Godfrey, who is a viral content creator and LinkedIn strategist who helps business owners and founders build their authority and strengthen their positioning on LinkedIn. Molly has built an online coaching business and has scaled this agency to over 6 figures by helping business owners and entrepreneurs build their authority on LinkedIn through writing copy, through showing up as an authority, and also creating a space where they can generate leads into their businesses as well. Now, the amazing thing here is that Molly's agency provides business owners and entrepreneurs with high touch LinkedIn support that doesn't include expensive masterminds or memberships. So if you are thinking about tapping into LinkedIn in 2026, then this episode is going to be all for you. So make sure you grab your notebook, your coffee, and let's get into today's episode. Have you ever found yourself stuck on what to post or struggling to stay consistent on social media? I've been there, and that's exactly why I created this free guide called 30 Days of Done For You Social Media Prompts for Personal Brands. This guide is loaded with prompts to get your gears turning so you can have a gallery of content to create for your brand and never stress about what to post again. And you can grab it right now at cdcreativecoagency.com/content and start creating content that connects without the stress. Well, hello, Molly, and welcome to the Side Hustler podcast.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
Yes, I am so excited to have you because I remember when I was reaching out to some people in my network and they had highly recommended you to come on and talk all things LinkedIn. I feel like LinkedIn is one of the things, like I was telling you on our coffee chat, is one of the things that like I don't really know. Instagram is more of my jam, but I'm super excited because I get people often ask me about LinkedIn strategy and like repurposing content to LinkedIn. So I'm super excited to talk all things LinkedIn. But for anyone who may not be familiar with you, can you give us a little intro on who you are and what you do?
Of course, yes. So I'm Molly. I'm based in New York City, and I do all things LinkedIn, only LinkedIn. So I am a platform specialist, and I help service businesses to do lead generation and get new clients and create a system around their business development, specifically using LinkedIn.
Yes. And so I'm excited. So let's get into a little bit. A lot of people often feel like when they're in business, they have to be on all of these platforms. And one of the common questions that I get from a lot of my customers or my clients is like, what platform should I be on? Why should I be on that platform? So I kind of want to take a deep dive in. Why do you feel that so many business owners overlook LinkedIn as an opportunity for lead gen?
Yeah, such a good question. So if this is you listening, it's such an opportunity. If you had a past corporate career and you had successful roles, you had a lot of coworkers. So LinkedIn is a networking platform. It's a job seeking platform. And the time that you spend working in companies and being in different roles and working with different managers, like that network that you build is really valuable. And so you might overlook it. You're like, oh, I just have all these connections from these people, but that's like social capital right there. That's like social equity. And so people overlook it. But if you actually start sharing your ideas, promoting your business, talking, like posting for those people that knew you, that liked you, that were impressed with you, that worked with you, like you're sitting on a gold mine of potential clients, potential referral partners. So people are like, well, I don't want to post for my old coworkers. And I'm like, you want to post exactly for your old coworkers, assuming they liked you and assuming you did good work and you just moved on. So people sit on these amazing networks and they're not utilizing them. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the value of LinkedIn, is the connections and the network.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a question that I have, because, you know, there's a lot of people that are on here that are side hustlers. They are building their business while working their W-2. And a lot of people are like, you know, just like you said, like, I don't want to post content because either my current employer, my current coworkers, or my former employers will know what I'm doing. And so when people come to you, or people that you've worked with come to you and address this concern, like, what is your main piece of advice for them?
I think that's the best position. My biggest regret is that I wasn't using LinkedIn. So I worked in tech sales and I was on LinkedIn to work for that company. But if I had created content while I was still employed and just shared my insights about my industry or shared the projects that I was working on, if I was building an audience before I launched my business, it would have been so different. So I think while you're employed, it doesn't have to, like, you don't have to mention your side hustle. If you're a marketer 9 to 5, or you're, I don't know, some sort of, you work in a company 9 to 5, just start posting, because then when you transition and you leave, it's built for you. So it can be general. It can be just, again, sharing about the events that you're going to or the travel that you're doing. Be mindful. And I've also had clients that, just like you said, have something full-time and are building something on the side. They just tell their employers, like, hey, I'm going to be posting about this. I have a client right now. She works for a huge company and she's building something on the side. She just told them and they were like, yeah, that's not in competition with what you're doing. And they're totally fine with it.
Yeah. See, my thing is like my corporate job is in clinical research, and then my, business is in marketing. And so I was like, I don't want anyone knowing what I do. So I've literally like lived two separate double lives, essentially. Like, I have my business LinkedIn and then I have my corporate LinkedIn, which, I mean, I guess it's cool, but would you like say that that's not like, I mean, it's essentially if someone has like 2 Instagrams, 2 YouTubes, things of that sort, but would you kind of like push people against it, or like would you be like, oh, it's totally fine?
I would build from one profile.
Okay.
But for you, there's totally overlap. Like, it sounds like you do a lot in data, you do a lot of analysis, you do a lot of planning. Like, there's definitely overlap between your role and your business. There's transferable skills for sure.
Yeah. That's good insight.
Something to think about.
I know. I know. So as far as like LinkedIn, because, every platform has a strategy regardless of how you utilize it. And the people that do really well on these platforms are people that are able to understand the platforms in and out and build strategy based off of that. And so when it comes to LinkedIn, what makes LinkedIn completely different than, the other platforms like Instagram, YouTube, TikTok?
Yeah, a couple things. LinkedIn is really slow. Like, it just, they want quality over quantity. So Instagram, TikTok, like, content disappears. You have threads. That's how we met. You have to post stuff. Like, the people that run my Threads account, they're posting like 3 to 4 times a day.
Yeah.
So the volume is just very intense. Otherwise, LinkedIn is the opposite. Things grow over weeks and weeks and months. So it typically longer content. It's kind of like mini blog posts or like a mini Substack. Like, longer content typically does really well. Deeper insights. There's a lot more nuance on LinkedIn. Like, it's deeper thinking. And I think it's kind of a nerdy platform, to be honest. Yeah. It's like the corporate nerds all created a platform and now they're creating content. Yeah. I'm one of them. And so it's very growth minded. It's very intellectual. It's not, people aren't on LinkedIn to be entertained. Yeah. Like, I don't go on LinkedIn to like see a fun video. I go on LinkedIn to think in a different way and to learn something. So how you tell a story on LinkedIn is very different than and it's also not really a visual platform.
Yeah. And I remember you mentioning that when we were talking on our coffee chat, because you were basically talking about how it's like a digital newspaper
Yeah.
essentially. And I was telling you how, like, I know for a fact I'm doing LinkedIn wrong because I just, post all of my content, the same content on all the platforms. And you were talking about how, it's not a visual platform. People are not on there scrolling, watching trending videos, because that's what TikTok, that's what Instagram is for. Even now with YouTube Shorts, that's what that's for. And so with that, like, would you say the type of content that actually performs the best right now is like written format content, or, graphics or things of that sort? Okay, quick pause. If creating consistent content feels like a full time job on top of your full time job, then you're going to want to hear this. I am excited to bring to you Batch, which is a new marketplace platform that I and my co founder, Lauren, have created, built for entrepreneurs and content creators. This is the marketplace that is going to connect business owners and entrepreneurs who need content with vetted local creators who can help them plan, shoot, and edit their content all in one place. So many of you have asked, when am I going to be able to book you for a content day? When can you come to my city? Do you know anyone in my city that does what you do? And this is going to be the solution. So whether you're an entrepreneur who is tired of struggling to find reliable content creators, photographers, or maybe you're just a creator who's ready to get booked and paid without having to go through the social media marketing of your business, Batch is going to be the platform that bridges that gap. So, say for instance, if you're flying to New York for a speaking engagement and you need content there, or even if you have a vendor pop up event in New Orleans and you need content there, Batch is going to be the creator marketplace that helps you get high quality content to market your brand online. It's designed to help you finally show up online with strategy, with confidence, and create consistent content that converts and actually helps you reach your visibility and revenue goals without the overwhelm. So if you're ready to make content creation easier and more intentional, head over to batchcontent.com. That's BATCHED content.com. Join the waitlist so you are the first to know when Batch is launched in your city.
Definitely. Like text, you can go very viral for just a written text post. Video is making its way in. I think they want to compete. They want to compete with shorts and reels and TikToks. We'll see. But people don't want to watch video. Again, they don't want to watch, they're at work. They're not going to unmute.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I think we're going to see video come back this year. I'm watching it closely. We'll see. But text is great. If you are going to use a photo, again, LinkedIn is nerdy. So you want to pair it with the content. So data, graphs, like visual representation of what you're writing can do really well. Carousels can do well, but you've got to design them well. So they need to be, aesthetically pleasing. But truly, the amount of effort that video, carousels, graphics take, you can just write a thoughtful text post and really do just fine, in my experience.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? And that's so interesting because, compared to, like even with Instagram and carousel posts, I would say, I mean, they're pretty valuable, but like, when you have pages that post a lot of like carousels, like those typically aren't like the best, highest converting, pages. Most of them are always video driven pages. But on LinkedIn, I know I see like the ones that I constantly see when I'm like scrolling on LinkedIn are the ones that have like graphs, datas, pie charts, things of that sort. That are specific to whatever industry you're in. Like if someone's talking about, AI tools and they're having all of these bubbles with all of these AI tools and comparing and contrasting, like that type of content I always see on my feed. And so when it comes to like LinkedIn strategy, if someone's like, I want to start actually diving into LinkedIn this year, what would you say would be some of the best things that they can do, like action steps to get started?
Yeah, good question. I would say decide how much you want to be posting. Again, on LinkedIn, once or twice a week is great. If you're not ready to post yet, you do need friends. So find the people in your industry or the people that you know that are creating and just start leaving comments. The comment culture on LinkedIn is very big. It's similar to the others. The more engagement you get, the better. But comments literally have impressions on LinkedIn. So you can go viral for your comments. And not like your content won't get any traction. So you really need to start making friends. So when I started on LinkedIn, I was in a women's community. I just said, does anyone want to grow on LinkedIn this year? Like, I want to start posting for the rest of the year. So I just found some friends. And then, we kind of shared our content back and forth, and it was just helpful to know people when you started. So community is so important. I have a LinkedIn community for that reason. You just need people in the beginning.
Yeah.
So find some friends. And if you ask around, there's probably someone in your network, that weirdo that's posting on LinkedIn. Like, oh yeah, that woman, she's posting on LinkedIn. There's probably someone. And then just decide, okay, I want to get 2 posts out a month, or I want to post a couple times a week. So just so for me, I was like, I want to do this for the next year. I used to post every day, which is crazy. It was like, I know, totally crazy. Now I post 2 or 3 times a week, and it's totally fine. But I committed. I was like, I want to try this for a year and just see what would happen in my business. And that was almost 6 years ago, and I haven't looked back. So
yeah,
I would say that's helpful. And then just start to observe. Just start to learn the culture of LinkedIn. It's very different. It's, again, very heady and intellectual. So just start to read content. Notice how people are formatting and communicating, and kind of the culture and the ecosystem of LinkedIn. It's totally fine. Like, I was scrolling LinkedIn for years before I ever stepped into publishing content. And so I had consumed a lot of LinkedIn content, and I think that helps.
Yeah. Yeah, that is good. And so even with like, the culture, I like how you talked about like LinkedIn culture, because it's just so cute. And so with LinkedIn culture, I mean, even like, there's so much like prime real estate on a LinkedIn profile. You have the banner image, you have your profile image, you have your headline, you have your, experience. And one of the things that I feel a lot of people are always like stumped on is like, what information goes there to where it's going to get me found? And so if you could give like some tips on how to like maximize those prime real estate areas on a LinkedIn profile, like what would be your top 3 tips that you would give someone who may be starting from scratch and that's about to like start a brand new LinkedIn page today?
Yeah. So you want to audit your current profile. So the profile is kind of like the precursor to your website. It's standing between you and someone going to your website or someone reaching out. So you really want to think about, who are my decision makers? What's important to them? What do they need to hear before they want to go deeper into my work? One of your questions was something about top of funnel. LinkedIn is very top of funnel. So it's so great. Like, growing a newsletter is great on LinkedIn. Growing a lead magnet, great on LinkedIn. Booking discovery calls, great on LinkedIn. So it's that precursor. So your profile, it needs to, if it's all about your corporate backstory, or it's all about you, you're going to lose people. So you want to really keep that decision maker in mind. So I work with female business owners. So when they land on my profile, my language and my messaging is all about how hard it is to run a business, how hard it is to get clients, how much marketing you're always doing as a business owner. So I have that in mind. And definitely the banner image. Most people either have a stock photo or they have nothing. Like, put something there. Even if it just is your company branding, just design it. I like some sort of, it could literally be from your website. I'm pretty minimalist, so just like a statement or 2. And then your headline, again, you want it to be clear. Like, who are you? What do people call you? What are you doing? What's your credibility? So fill in that data into the headline. And then, so they'll come to the banner, they'll come to the headline. You want a good picture. So something front facing, like a quality photo, match the background of that photo to your banner. And then what else? The featured section is kind of like the pinned version of Instagram.
Yes.
So make that your call to action. When someone lands on your make it really easy for them to get in touch with you. So if you go on my profile, I have my newsletter, my courses, and my strategy call link, my discovery call link. Just those are the actions that I want people to take. It's right on my profile. I've designed the thumbnail to match my banner. It's all in my own branding with call to action words. So that's what I'm trying to get people to do, is to go deeper into my work. So the featured section is important. And then the rest, I would say, think about the decision maker. But those are the big things. You just want it to be clear. You want it to be clear who you're for, what you do, what makes you different from everyone else.
Yeah. And so with the features section, like I like how you kind of related that back to pin posts, because I tell people all the time, like on Instagram, your pin post is like your prime real estate. So those three
Yeah.
pin posts cannot just be pictures that look cute or, viral content that's not related to your page or to
Totally.
your business. You want it to be like a welcome, like an intro of who you are, one to your lead magnet, one talking about your services, maybe one about your behind the scenes, like using that as prime real estate for strangers that land on your page. So if you're not there to actually physically talk to them, they know exactly who you are, they know what services you provide, they know what it's like to work with you, and they know what you want them to do, next, to take step forward to actually working with you. And so I love how you correlated the two. And so even with that, so like the feature posts, do you use like long form content to create those pieces of content, or are they like graphics? Are they carousels? What are they?
It's just a thumbnail. So it's
Mm.
a like a Canva graphic, like a
Okay.
square, and then
Yeah.
it's just a link. So if
Mm.
you go to mine, they're just like three squares. So you
Yeah.
can't, it will, you could paste like a long bio under that, but you don't need that. If the thumbnails are well designed, that's perfect. My
Yeah.
profile is a really good example to look at
Yeah.
for
Okay.
that.
Well, everyone go and connect with Molly. Well, I guess, and that's another thing I want to ask you, because, like, I'm new to LinkedIn, and I was like, what is
Yeah.
the difference between a follower and a connection? Like,
Yeah. So, I typically follow anyone that I want to learn more from, but I'm not trying to have a personal conversation with. So, like, who's an example? Sarah Blakely, the woman that started Spanx. I mean, I would love to talk to her, but I'm not trying to, get her attention. But I like her posts. My clients love her. So I would follow her. But for a potential lead or a collaborator or a peer that I want to say, like, hey, love what you're doing. I heard about you from so and so. You would send a connection request. So you can add a little message, and then that opens up a DM conversation. So I have a lot of people following me that I've never spoken to. I tend to reach out to my followers and say, hey, saw you in my list. Thanks for the follow. So you can follow anyone. I
mhm.
typically connect with people that I want to start a conversation with.
Y'all already know I'm all about working smarter and not harder, especially when it comes to marketing your brand. And if you're still relying only on social media to reach your audience, we need to fix that immediately. Social media is cute, but let's be real. The algorithm is unpredictable, and your content is probably only reaching a small percentage of your followers. That's why I swear by email marketing, because when I send an email, I know 100% of my subscribers are getting my messages. And the best part, Flowdesk makes it ridiculously easy. You can send beautiful on-brand emails, automate your sequences, and even create landing pages without needing to be tech savvy. And because you're listening, I got you a deal. Use my code SIDEHUSTLE at checkout and you'll get 50% off your Flowdesk subscription for the next 12 months. So if you're ready to stop relying on algorithms and start building an email list that actually converts, try Flowdesk for free. And don't forget to use the code SIDEHUSTLE at checkout for that exclusive 50% off. That's good. That's good. So make sure that you're following Molly, or you can send her a connection and she
Yeah,
she will connect with you. But that's really good. And so I kind of want to dive in on LinkedIn as top of funnel, because obviously a lot of us that are maybe like new to LinkedIn, so you'll get connection requests from like strangers, and then once you get the connection request, they will send you a DM and they're like, hey, thank you so much for connecting, and then they're like, hey, do you struggle with getting clients or whoever? How can we utilize LinkedIn as a lead gen funnel, but being strategic, not just randomly reaching out to strangers
yeah,
that we've never, had interested, but actually strategically using it as a lead gen tool?
totally. It's phenomenal for Legion. So two things. You have to have content. You have to be posting, even if it's once or twice a week, because there's people that just hire these agencies to do outreach like that. If you don't have content, if you're not actually active, if other people are running your account, I'm not going to take you seriously. You're just trying to sell me stuff. So you need to participate in LinkedIn if you want business from LinkedIn. LinkedIn is very relationship driven. The whole ecosystem of connections, it's very relationship driven. So you need to have an active presence.
Mm-hmm.
So content, super important. And then Sales Navigator is an amazing tool. I love it. If you are really if you have a scalable business and a scalable offer, Sales Navigator is really fantastic. You can do
What
a
is
lot of
that?
stuff. It's LinkedIn CRM tool. So
Mm.
yeah, so it's outbound organization. So
Okay.
businesses that have very scalable offers, often coaches or agencies, Sales Navigator is what you use to do all that outbound. So all those people that are reaching out to you, they're probably using Sales Navigator. It's like a system.
Aha.
Yeah. And so my honest recommendation is post for 3 to 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Once you've got that down and you're starting to have conversations and people are commenting consistently and starting to get to know you, then you can add in outbound. Until
Mm-hmm.
you're in a good system with that, don't start outbounding. And by outbounding, I mean proactively sending connection requests.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I would go through your Rolodex. Like, who are all the people you know? Like, make sure you're connected to everyone in your network. And then I typically, once you start posting content, people are going to start finding you. So I reach out to all my followers. I reach out to the people that visit my profile. I reach out to the people that engage with my content. And then after I do all that, I might do a search and say, okay, I want to reach female founders in Connecticut or New York City. And so I'll make a list of that. And I might send out 20 to 30 connection requests in a week. I came across your profile on LinkedIn. I'm Molly. I do this. So it's very effective, but it's a whole system to create, and you have to be in a routine with content before you can start adding. The biggest mistake I see is people come to me having hired an agency because an agency said, oh, we can get you tons of clients sending messages on LinkedIn. And then it doesn't work. And they're like, well, I didn't get anything from that. And I'm like, I know, because you hired someone else to do it. You had no real presence, and people can sniff that from a mile away. They don't like that.
Yeah, that's really good. And so even like with posting on LinkedIn for someone that's brand new, what would you say is like a good sweet spot on how often they should post?
I think once or twice a week is totally fine.
That's good.
It depends, but also like how much are you trying to get LinkedIn to work? If you really want clients and you want momentum and you want traction, 2 to 3 times a week. If you are just trying to build a presence and your primary platform is somewhere else, once or twice a week is totally fine. But like I said, LinkedIn's not, you don't need a ton of quantity. If you spend time writing 1 or 2 thoughtful posts, a really valuable thought leadership, your perspectives, your insights, your observations about your work and your industry, and you're teaching something. LinkedIn's very teaching and storytelling. That would do great. And then maybe a personal story, your why, why you're good at what you do, your backstory.
Yeah. That was actually going to be my next question, because, one of the common questions that I get is like, okay, I have a business. Obviously, I need to market it. But like when I'm creating content, what should I post? What should I create? And so you're basically saying like, taking your why, talking about that, maybe sharing a little bit of insight or personal behind the scenes of you and your business, but then also like thought leadership type of content. Now, with that content, do you typically end those pieces of content with like a call to action, like book a discovery call, or, click the link to get my, free guide or something of that sort?
You can, so LinkedIn, this is where it's really different from Instagram. So on Instagram, you can sell in stories all day long. You can promote, I'm doing this thing, come to this. LinkedIn is not, people don't like that on LinkedIn. You can't just post and say, sign up for my lead magnet, come to my workshop. It's not built for that. It's really a thought leadership platform. It's a learning platform. So you can do calls to action. For example, I'll teach something, here's how to write LinkedIn newsletters. If you want to go deeper into this, I have a cohort coming up where I teach long form LinkedIn strategy. So I'll teach something and then I'll say, would you like to go deeper? Would you want to learn more? This is stuff I do with my one-on-one clients. If I just directly tried to sell stuff to people, like every once in a while, I'll say, hey, I'm doing this thing, come to it. But once a month at max, you have to create valuable content with a call to action at the end.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's really good. Yeah. So is LinkedIn your primary social platform? Yeah,
I started Threads maybe September, October, November, December, January. Yeah, 6 months ago. But I have a team that repurposes my LinkedIn content on the thread. So
nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually a good question. So like with repurposing content, because obviously Instagram's my main platform. And so like I push out a lot of content, like 4 to 5 times a week. And so for someone that is wanting to repurpose, could you say that the best way to repurpose content would not necessarily be reposting that video onto LinkedIn, but taking the actual idea or the concept of that video and then turning it into long form content as a LinkedIn post?
Good question. Yeah, you can't just straight copy paste. A lot of people make that mistake.
Yeah.
So LinkedIn, you need more writing typically. Instagram captions can be kind of fluffy because the visual is doing the work, and then the captions just kind of like LinkedIn, you need depth. It's worth testing. So I kind of go the opposite. So I had a really viral LinkedIn post, and then I made that into an Instagram reel, and the Instagram reel actually did better than the LinkedIn post. So I've done both ways. And actually, funny enough, I had a thread that did really, really well. And then I put it on LinkedIn, and it also did really, really well. And I was like, oh, great. So you have to adapt it. You could try it, but you have to adapt it, and you have to test. Sometimes it goes okay. Sometimes it totally flops. But in theory, if you have a good video, it might also work on LinkedIn. But it's just they're really different places. Yeah. I wish it were that easy.
Okay, let me put y'all onto something, because if you're creating content and you're not using ManyChat, you are leaving money on the table, and that's on period. I use ManyChat for all of my DM automations, and I'm constantly telling my clients this. DM automations are one of the best ways for you to convert your content. Why? Because you're getting direct links straight to your audience without them having to wait for you to manually respond to DMs. You can send links to your lead magnets, event tickets, your offers, checkout pages, literally anything that you're selling automatically. It's fast, it's seamless, and it removes friction for your audience. But what I love most is not how just convenient it is, but how strategic it is, because you can also track your conversions and see where your leads are coming from and understand what content is driving real results, not just likes, not just views, actual data. And if you want to try it out, I got a code for you. Use my code to get 30% off of ManyChat for your first 3 months. You can scan the QR code on your screen, or if you're listening, head over to cdcreativecodeagency.com/ManyChat to grab your discount now. Trust me, once you automate your DMs, you will never look back. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. So I want to kind of switch gears a little bit and talk about AI, because, obviously AI is here, and a lot of us are using AI when it comes to our content, either to help us come up with ideas, to help us write the copy. And so when it comes to like utilizing AI for LinkedIn content, what are your thoughts?
Oh man, it's a really hot topic because LinkedIn didn't really have any regulation on it. So AI was just taking over like this time last year, but now they're catching it, and if it's purely AI, they're just not pushing it out because people don't want, there's nothing to it. People don't want to read it. So I don't like AI for writing. I do like AI for editing. I taught an editing workshop using AI over the summer, and like 900 people signed up. It was crazy.
Wow.
So I like it for editing, and I like it for reinforcing ideas and kind of making sense of things. But you can't use it to, like, you have to write 90% of it and then use AI for the last bit.
Yeah.
I do like AI editing. So I've done some video content. I really like Descript. So they edit video editing. But for the most part, it's people just don't want the slop. They don't want to read generic content. They want, so not like, if you're not using AI, you stand out a lot on LinkedIn.
That's good. And I mean, that's also because information is so accessible now. So it's like the same way that you're copying and pasting content from, ChatGPT, Claude, or whoever you use, whatever AI tool you use, the person that's reading it could also do the same thing. It's like, what is the depth beneath the actual content that you're creating? So I love that, because I feel like, AI is changing like drastically, even like with video, photo content. It's so amazing how, it's evolved over the past, 2 years since it's been around, or 3 years, or however long it's been around now. But I know that that's probably one of the like most common mistakes that someone's going to say. It's like, oh, well, she said I have to put out long form content, so I'm just going to, go to AI and tell AI to come up with this post, and I'm going to copy and paste it to LinkedIn, and then basically wish for the best. And I mean, that's the same thing with Instagram. Like, even with AI content, it doesn't perform well. So
Totally.
yeah.
And I get it. It's so compelling. It really makes it easy. It makes it easy, but everyone's saying the same thing and tuning it out. And so you've got to put effort in.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that kind of brings me to my last question that I have for you, is what are some of the common mistakes that you see business owners make when it comes to LinkedIn?
Great one. I see, because it's so slow, I said that right in the beginning of the conversation, it's slow. People, they chase the shiny objects and they fall for the hacks. So they join the engagement pods, they hire the agent, they hire the lead gen people. They try and do like gimmicky writing. And again, not from a bad, they try and add photos to everything to get more reach. And it's like, there's no quick fix. It takes time to build trust. It takes time to build relationships. It takes time for the algorithm to show your stuff to the right people, for it to get to know you. So just, if it seems too good to be true, it is. So just there's no quick fix.
Yeah.
There's no quick fix. I have grown my audience brick by brick. It takes as long as it takes. And I see it all the time. People are like, I'm going to join this pod. I heard that I can boost my engagement. No, you're not. It's not. And I'm sure there's versions of that for all social media.
Yeah, for sure. And, it's so interesting because just like you said, you built your audience brick by brick. A lot of people want to fast track. And I don't know if it's possible, like, how people buy followers or buy, engagement. I'm pretty sure it's probably a thing on LinkedIn too. But, I tell my clients, like, even people that will come to me for Instagram, that, it takes some time before you're actually like able to convert your content into a paying client, like anywhere between 6 to 8 months. And I know we were talking about this on our coffee chat, that it's pretty much the same timeline for LinkedIn as well. But I do know that also LinkedIn does like LinkedIn ads. Have you ever used LinkedIn ads before?
I haven't. I've had some clients experiment, so I'm watching them closely. I think that I'm lucky because I put so much work in. I get good reach.
Yeah. Very organically.
I've had some clients test and feel really disappointed. They were like, I could just put effort in organically.
Yeah.
And I have some people in my community testing it, and they're, learning some things, but I'm sure that's the model it's going to move towards.
Yeah.
But I think it still has a lot of power organically. And I have never sold clients ads or, set up ads for them. Yeah. No, that's it. That's good insight. I did say that was my last question, but I have one last question. Yeah.
So LinkedIn Premium, because that's equivalent to, I guess, Instagram Verified. So what would you say are the pros and cons of LinkedIn Premium? And then like, who would you say would benefit from having a LinkedIn Premium account?
Yeah, good question. So if you are using LinkedIn for lead generation and you really want to make it your primary marketing and you want to get business from it, you need premium. It's the cost of doing business. It's anywhere from $40 to $80 a month. You got to pay it. Your posts get more reach. You have extra features on your profile. You can send more personalized connection requests. You have way better search features. They reward the people that pay. And so that's what I tell clients. If you are genuinely using it for business, you have to pay. But test it. If you're just getting started, see if you can be consistent for 2 or 3 months and just see what happens when you post. Are your old connections engaged? Do they want to hear from you? Like, a lot of times this is what happens. Clients will post something. They're like, oh, like 3 people reached out after that. I think I should really take this seriously. I'm like, great. Try a little harder, get premium. This could be worth your time. So test it, do some sort of test. And then 2 or 3 months in, again, if you want to get more traction momentum, you need premium. Sales Navigator, you probably don't need until about a year in, 9 months to a year in. Just post organically, make connections, build a routine. Sales Navigator is like LinkedIn 2, LinkedIn
Mm-hmm.
201.
Mm-hmm.
But premium, you'll only be able to send like 10 connection requests a month with a message. So with premium, you can send hundreds every week with a custom message. That makes a difference.
Yeah, that's good. That is good.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Molly,
Of
for
course.
hopping on the podcast and talking all things LinkedIn. I know that there's going to be someone that's like, "Who is this girl, and where can I work with her?" So I want you to share a little bit about where they can find you on socials and how someone can work with you, and also what services you provide for business owners.
Yeah. So I'm Molly Godfrey on LinkedIn. It'll say LinkedIn strategist. That's a good way to find me. Ask for Molly is my threads or my Instagram. So you can find me there. And I do two things. I do one-on-one work and then I have a membership. So if you're new and you want a place to ask questions and find friends, like I talked about, and have on-demand recordings and come to live sessions every month, my membership Impressions is great. It's people of all levels. It's very inspiring, really cool people in there. So that opens up every quarter. So definitely just find me somewhere and you'll see when it's open again. But that's a really great resource if you want to start taking LinkedIn a little more seriously without a high ticket mastermind. That's the way to go.
Yes, awesome. Well, thank you so much again for taking out the time to chat with me all things LinkedIn. And if you are interested in working with Molly or even being a part of her membership, I will put all of her information down below in the description box. Thank you so much again, my friend. It was so nice sitting down and chatting with you.
Yeah, likewise. Until next time.
Yes. Thank you for tuning in to the Side Hustler podcast. If today's episode gave you clarity or the push you needed, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss what's next. And if you want more behind the scenes content and strategy in real time, come hang out with me on Instagram at cd.creativeco. I'll see you in next week's episode.